Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of the third time that I did this review. Because here's the thing about this episode, and this is something that I only noticed when I started doing reviews for it, is that in some ways, this is kind of a messy episode. So I'm going to try to do my review in this one the best way I can, by talking about some characters and just kind of highlighting some of the things that they did and how they kind of intersect with other characters. More like a web. So let's talk about Ava, Julian. Why did she name her child Avery? She couldn't pick any other name. Anyway, let's talk about Avery. Let's talk about Ava and Julian for a minute. Julian's being a selfish prick, pretty much. You know, he wants Ava to divorce Nicholas. That way, you know, it can make Ryan happy, and he doesn't have to mail this letter to Sonny. And Sonny doesn't have to, like, I don't know, kill him. I was trying to find something more creative to sit there and say, but. So the whole time he's sitting there berating Ava like, oh, well, just do it, just get it over with. And Ava kind of has some misgivings about it, you know, because she's starting to fall for Nicholas. And that's what this whole thing is about. That's what this whole thing is about. So she's, you know, when she was sitting there talking to Julian, she's like, listen, I'm trying to figure out the best way that I can save your life and still get what I want at the same time. And Julian's like, listen, I don't care what you do, just make Ryan happy. And do it fast. And that's pretty much their whole scene, is just Julian being a selfish prick to Ava. Now, with Liz and Nicholas, here's the thing. I can understand why some people do not like Liz, because she comes across as a hypocrite. And when Nicholas saw Liz, he came clean about the whole trying to push Ava and Franco together, and, you know, apologizing and just kind of owning up to his mistakes. And Liz just said, oh, it's cool, I've done bad stuff too, so let's just move on. Wow. Really? Oh, and by the way, Ava confirmed that Franco and Liz knew about Scott blackmailing her and Nicholas. So she knows that Nicholas did something, because she knows that, you know, Nicholas had to pay her off. So she knows that, and she also knows about Franco and Liz's involvement. And I feel like she's mad at Franco, but she is kind of understanding of it, because, to be honest, well, she's kind of screwing over Franco's marriage too. So, but yeah, Liz is being a hypocrite, and you know, Nicholas is there to sit there and also talk about his feelings and how he feels about Ava, and you know, he's also worried because it's like, he feels like she puts on a suit of armor around other people, but when they're together and they have those nice moments, you know, he can see a different side of her. And it makes him want to kind of like drop his guard too, but he's kind of worried about it. And Liz is just like, just talk to her, you know? Talk to her and just see, you know? Because at the very least, you can sit there and say that you tried. So, anyway, Nick and Ava goes back to the house, and they're both like, you know, we gotta sit there and talk about... I have no idea, because they just actually get to that one point, they're like, I gotta talk about something, and I guess we'll find out tomorrow what it is that they gotta talk about. Now, let's talk about Brooklyn and Valentine. So they both go downstairs to go get breakfast and stuff after, I guess, their third round of mattress tag. And they run into Chase and Nina. Now, just to kind of summarize it up, Nina called Chase to talk about the funeral with Nell and wanted to know if he wanted to be a part of it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, Nina, the hell is wrong with you? Why would he actually want it? Like, you know that Nell hurt so many people in that town, and you know that Chase was one of them. So when Chase sits there and says, yo, listen, she screwed me over so many times, I want no parts of it. You know, Nina's like kind of like shocked, like she's disappointed. Like, Jax don't even want any parts of that. So, like, anyway, before they can really sit there and kind of just go their separate ways, they run into Brooklyn and Valentine, which they pretty much kind of confirmed that they had sex. Valentine was there talking about it first, and Nina was like, no, he's just kind of just getting a rise out of you. He just wants to kind of like, you know, yeah, get a rise out of you. And that's when Brooklyn was like, nope, really did it. And you know, Nina has this shocked / jealous look on her face. And when both parties separate, as far as Chase and Brooklyn, because Brooklyn has to go get, I guess, a songwriting book, and Chase goes to talk to Willow, is this huge fight with them, with Nina and Valentine. And I mean, let's just be honest, Nina is jealous as hell. Talking about you're sleeping with somebody half your age, and you're taking advantage of her, this, that, and the third. Whatever. And Valentine calls her out on it. Valentine's like, listen, you're jealous. And all this, you're trying to push me away, and you're done with me, this, that, and the third, doesn't mean squat, because you're now literally confirming what I'm saying. Of course, Jax looks, you know, sees them arguing from afar, and you know, they're staring at each other very intensely. And Jax is just sitting there just looking like he's sort of jealous or something. I'm like, you really don't have room to sit there and start, like, you know, catching a jealous bug. Now, earlier, Sam and Jax met with Michael to talk about Aurora, as far as being the new co-CEO of it. And at first Michael wasn't too sure, because between wanting to help get back to family business and the fact that he didn't really run it so well, he kind of had some misgivings about, you know, running Aurora. But they convinced him that, well, they pretty much convinced him that, you know, he was the man for the job, that he did do a good job as far as ELQ, and it'll be doing them both a huge favor. So he agreed. They did talk earlier, like Michael and Willow about the divorce, and I'm gonna be honest, it really didn't go anywhere, which is why I'm not gonna really talk about it too much, because I feel like, as far as this whole divorce goes, I feel like Willow will be dragging her feet more than Michael. I feel like she's more disappointed in divorce than Michael is. I know that, you know, Michael had that flashback of the kiss or whatever, but I feel like it's more of Willow having more feelings for Michael than the reverse. And yeah, Willow did want to meet up with Chase for a little bit, and they talked, and pretty much Chase was like, you know, I'm happy that you're happy, and you're being a great mom, and, you know, you're happy with Michael, and that's all I want for you. And then he walks away, and then Willow's like, I gotta tell you something about the marriage, and I guess we'll wait until tomorrow to find out. Let me pause it for a second. And the last thing I'm gonna sit there and talk about is Brooklyn and Ned, because Brooklyn went back to the house, and you know, you have Ned, Olivia, and Monica sitting there talking about how they're gonna deal with the whole Brooklyn situation. And yeah, there was an earlier scene between Monica and Ned. Pretty much Monica was just berating Ned for him not owning up to telling Olivia about, the affair. Well, not the affair, but him cheating on her. And she also said, listen, I'm pretty sure Brooklyn knows about, your little tryst in the hay with Alexis. So, she doesn't really have a lot of incentives to keep her mouth shut. Do something. Now, my thoughts on that is that, to some extent, I'm getting kind of annoyed with Monica constantly berating Ned about fixing things with his daughter. Because, to be honest, he is trying. Yeah, he's screwing up to it a bit, but he's not just him that's doing that. Brooklyn is also kind of being bratty. It's not just Ned. And I really wish that she would give him a little bit of slack for at least attempting to try to fix things with Brooklyn. But no. So when Brooklyn meets up with Ned and they talk and stuff like that, it goes well for I don't know, a good minute. They both apologize and own up to things. But the minute that Brooklyn tells Ned that she slept with Valentine, it just goes out the window. And Ned pretty much just kind of berates her for it and treats her like she's a child and, her decisions are stupid and she doesn't know how to make this. Here's the way I look at it. I look at it like he berated her on not being smart enough to be an adult about her own situation. Like Valentine didn't take advantage of her. She's a consenting adult. And not everything is about Ned. She's because he came out of his mouth and he was like, oh, well, you did this to get back, you slept with Valentine to get back at me. I'm like, no, because not everything is about you, dick. Really? So at this point, Brooklyn is just like, you know what, I'm out. I just came back to get my songbook, I got it, and that's about it. And she just storms off. And of course, you got Monica just sitting there just looking at Ned with just full disappointed look on her face. And, yeah. Now I'm going to pause it for one more minute because I want to make sure that I did not forget anything. Yeah, that's it. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything, but really, again, and I want to just reiterate in case I forgot, I don't think I did, but, Nina tried to get Chase to come to the funeral, and Chase was like, I want no parts of it. It kind of told his backstory about how he was green when he was a new detective, and ugh, so many N names in there. Now pretty much nearly, ended his career, and she did terrible things to everyone else. So he was like, I'm good. I don't want any parts of it. I don't understand why is it so much shocking to, Nina looked like she was shocked by the fact that, oh, another person didn't want to come to her funeral and stuff like that. And, no one likes her. Everyone's glad that she's gone. You need to kind of accept that fact. And to some extent she did, even when she was sitting there talking to Jax about it, as far as, the whole argument with Carly, she was like, yeah, I can see myself, identifying myself a little bit with Nell. But she's trying to look at it like the life that she could have lived. The person that she could have been. And I think that's where she's trying to come from. But unfortunately, she's getting a lot of resistance from pretty much everyone in the town. So, it is what it is. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? To some extent, I felt like it was kind of a mess. And it's weird. Because again, I only noticed it when I started reviewing. Seriously reviewing these episodes. And I was just like, God damn, this is kind of a mess. How am I going to, review this? And the best way I could sit there and say, is that the spider web tactic is the best way I could sit there and try to review GH. Is when I talk about one character, how it intersects with another character, and then just kind of do like a brief backstory on that person to kind of get people caught up with what's going on. I don't know, I figure like that review style works best. Let me know if it does or if it doesn't. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Have a good night. Be safe. I will catch you in the next review.